Don't stop recording. Okay. To start off my speech, I would like to show you a video of my friend and I playing NBA 2K14, a basketball video game. And when I say that, you show them the video. When I say basketball video game or whatever, show the video. I'll walk back, don't worry. Faggot career, sucks at ball. As you can tell by the video, my friend and I had a lot of fun playing NBA 2K14. It allowed us to envision ourselves as NBA players and gave us the thrill of being in a real NBA game. However, video games aren't just a form of entertainment. They have other benefits to them as well that benefit teenagers in a very good way. Therefore, I believe that video games are beneficial to teenage development. The two claims that I'll be discussing today are: 1, that video games help prepare you for adult life, and 2, video games help shape mental characteristics. When I say my two claims, you pull up the slide of my two claims, because that's kind of obvious. You're just like, these two, this slide. And then you go to claim 1, or whatever. Then I transition, so I'm like... Now, this leads me to my first claim. Video games help prepare you for adult life. Vision is a very important part of video games because fast-paced games such as first-person shooters cause your eyes to be accustomed to many different environments, new structures, shapes, so your eyes has an influx of new images every second. A study conducted by Daphne Bevalier of the University of Rochester shows that compared gamers and non-gamers in their ability to find differences in contrast in different shades of color, also known as contrast sensitivity. When I talk about this study, you bring up the picture of contrast sensitivity. So like, when I say differences in color, something like that, you bring up the picture of the contrast sensitivity. And then I'm going to be like, the results showed that gamers were able to perceive contrast sensitivity 58% better than non-gamers. This is significant because it shows how video games help improve vision. Vision is very important in your life, in adult life, because you're going to need it to do many tasks. For example, driving cars. Imagine you're driving a car on the road and it's very foggy in front of you. You can't see the road very clearly, and then, bang, you hit the car in front of you. Both of you suffer severe injuries. If you played video games as a teenager, your eyes would have been accustomed to the contrast sensitivity, and you would have been able to see clearly through the light fog, probably even avoiding this severe injury. Teamwork is another thing that video games help develop. Video games cause players to collaborate together in order to reach a common goal. For example, Call of Duty, when I say Call of Duty, you bring up the picture of like the video game, this. When I say Call of Duty, Call of Duty is a first-person shooter where players are required to work together in order to capture flags from the enemy and then maintain those flags from the enemy. Teamwork is social connection is also seen through different ways of talking to one another through microphones, chat, and messaging, which allows for gamers to be socially connected even if they're geographically separated. Teamwork is a very important part of your life in the future because you're going to be forced to work with other people who you don't know well in order to accomplish projects and other things to please your boss. So getting over this gap of friendship will allow you to succeed in your future. Video games also help reduce stress because the player is able to take on the role of many different people and able to forget his responsibilities and be able to be transported to a different world. Video games allow for a study conducted by in 2009 annual Cybertherapy and Telemedicine. A study was conducted which showed that teenagers who are depressed are able to vent out their anger and their frustration by playing video games. This is very significant because it shows how video games help reduce stress and make the mind happy. You guys right now think you're very stressed because Bronx Science is such a stressful school. I agree, it is pretty laborious. Laborious. It's pretty painstaking because of the numerous tests, projects, and things we have to do. But imagine if you were an adult. You'll have to take care of your children, finances, cars, family, house, countless things that we can't even imagine as teenagers. If we play video games as teenagers, you're gonna be used to getting rid of your stress. Your brain will be refreshed and you'll be able to take on some new stress. Now that you know how video games affect you and how prepare you for adult life, you're probably wondering, how do video games affect me as of now as a teenager? Well, this brings me to my second main point. Video games help shape mental characteristics. Quick thinking is a very important part of video games because the player is required to avoid obstacles and monsters while still being forced to win the game. So he has to think efficiently in order to be able to win the game. A study conducted by the University of Rochester showed that 25% gamers were able to create decisions 25% faster than non-gamers. In addition, an expert gamer is able to make 6 decisions per second, almost 4 times as much as an average person. This is due to the average person's brain, which collects auditory and visual information, and when it connects enough of this information, it creates an appropriate decision. Video games' brains have an alternate version of these receptors that are more enhanced, so they're able to acquire an influx of information, leading to a greater and more efficient decision. Problem-solving skills are also induced in video games because the player is required to use different strategies in order to win the game. Cut the Rope, for example, is a video game that asks the user to cut a series of ropes in order to transport the candy to the green monster. I will show you a clip of this game in action. And then when I say that, or something like that, I'll walk back, you'll know. Just being like, just play the video. 40 seconds to 50 seconds, so probably like about 9 or 10 seconds of video. So look at that guy go. Look at that. Alright, so stopped. Should you record? Yes, thank you. As you saw in that video, the player is required to strategically cut the ropes in such a manner that he has to both avoid the obstacles and get the candy to the green creature. This leads to the brain being challenged by video games and causes the people to think in a whole new way. Thirdly, video games directly affect brain development. In a study shown from, this is the stupidest name ever, Berlin's Max Planck Institute of Human Development and Hedwig Hospital, I'm gonna mess up on that. A study was conducted where people were required to play new Super Mario 64 for 30 minutes for over a 2-month period. And the results showed that there was a significant gray matter increase. I'm going to start walking back. Significant gray matter increase in and then you bring up the VA of the brain thing, right? Significant gray matter increase in the hippocampus, the right prefrontal cortex, and the cerebellum. And then I'm just gonna walk back and be like, these parts of the brain are very important to the teenager because they program for many things such as memory, spatial navigation, cognitive skills, and motor skills. Teenagers utilize these skills on a daily basis in order to help them in academics and sports and other things. Now I'm gonna go to my counterline. Although video games help prepare you for adulthood, and although many new characteristics arise from video games, some people still hold on to the fact, some people still believe that video games are detrimental to teenage development. Detrimental, vocab, okay. Some people say that violence in video games causes aggressive behavior to erupt in teenagers. Although this may be true, there is no direct correlation between violence in video games and teenagers. A study was conducted in the Journal of Youth and Adolescence, where 337 or 377, one or the other, 300 teenagers who suffer from depression were asked to play violent video games. Then the researchers studied their behavioral habits, meaning if they got into fights with anyone or they bullied anyone at school. The results showed that there was no apparent that there was no connection between the violence in video games that the teenagers played and their aggressive behavior, because they showed no aggressive behavior. Therefore, this is very significant because depressed people are more susceptible to aggressive behavior. And it is obvious that if depressive people don't show aggressive behavior, the non-depressed people will also not show depressive behavior. In addition, the Entertainment Software Rating Board, when I say this, you put up the picture of the 5 things, like these things. You put up the picture of that. When I say Entertainment Software Rating Board, I know you can't even see this. I just realized. Whatever. Entertainment Software Rating Board divides the video games based on drug use, sexual content, and violence. This ensures that a 12-year-old does not play the video game that has violence that is meant to be played by an 18-year-old. Another common counterclaim is that video games discourage teenagers from engaging in physical activity. This is definitely not the case, because many new video games are arising that actually encourage activity. For example, Wii Fit is a video game created by Nintendo that its purpose is to help people lose weight and have fun while they're exercising. Here's a video of Wii Fit. You better show that video. Alright, so I'm gonna be like, where'd the video go? Oh my goodness. 2:37 to 2:45. So like 8-second video. Look at this guy run. Track team. I'm doing something. Go, I'm doing something. I'll be done in like 2 minutes.
Can I put my stuff down?
Yeah, okay fine. I'm recording. I need to send this to
Alright,
my
I
friend.
have to put my stuff. Can I change or I'll just take my clothes?
No.
I'll take my clothes.
Go.
Don't mess up my camera, Danielle. You messed up my whole juice.
Don't worry.
It smells funky. Turn the fan on.
Your face smells funky. Where was I? Oh yeah. I played the Wii Fit video and I was like, as you can see, the man was having lots of fun running because his virtual self was replicated onto the screen. What am I trying to say? This is a very important part of video games because it makes them more fun. People are exercising, yet they're still playing a video game. How awesome is that? In conclusion, I believe that video games are beneficial to teenage development for 2 reasons. 1, they help prepare you for adult life, and 2, they help shape mental characteristics. The next time you come home from Bronx Science and you're worn out because of the numerous tests that you have taken and all the other stuff, I want you to do this. Put down your bag, grab your favorite video game, and start playing. And transport yourself into a world where you can defy the laws of gravity, or act as a superhero chasing bad guys, or even be a NASCAR driver driving around the world. The ending was kind of bad, but thank you. 1406, but like that was because I got interrupted, so it would actually be like 13 something. You got it? Okay, so don't mess up, please. Love you. Okay, bye.